I wouldn't call myself a Guilty Gear fan. I absolutely suck at fighting games. But there is one spin-off title released on DSiWare that I am familiar with, and that's Pro Jumer Chimaki's Hot Spring Tour Guilty Gear Tangent? And as the title suggests, it's a platformer starring Chimaki, as he goes through various issues such as back pain and insomnia, and visits various hot springs all over the globe to relieve himself of these affairs. And I've got to say right off the bat, this is a nice looking DS game, with vibrant visuals and smooth animations. Its pixel art kind of gives me legendary Starfy vibes. There's even a Halloween themed stage, appropriate since it is close to spooky season. But do not let this game's adorable exterior fool you, because this platform is out for blood. In other words, it's very frustrating. And not in the I want to keep trying way, I mean in the annoying and makes you want to play something else kind of way. Especially when trying to go for 100% completion. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the basics. Chimaki could walk, run, jump, and attack enemies using his towel, but it has incredibly short range, so you're better off just avoiding the mooks most of the time. Also, I advise not to dash at every moment, as Chimaki is very slippery on his feet. The game likes to throw a lot of segments where you're jumping across small platforms, and one wrong move means it's the pits for you. You can only take up to 2 hits before kicking the wash bucket. There is a power-up that can restore Chimaki from his damaged state, but do not rely on them as they don't show up too often. There's also another power-up in the form of a bar of soap. It makes you move faster, but you can only jump. I despise this thing, and usually avoid it unless it's necessary to progress, like in the 5th stage. But you'll unfortunately need to utilize it if you want to 100% most stages, since it may be required for getting all the apples. Oh right, I neglected to mention these. Each stage has 99 apples to collect, and you'll be awarded with more extra lives if you collect a bunch of them after finishing a stage. But with level design this annoying, I usually don't bother. The game isn't very long, it only has 6 stages. However, the design of said levels really grinds my guilty gears, with enemies placed in cheap locations, lots of jumping across small platforms that isn't helped by Chimaki's butterfeet, and sometimes the background elements make it confusing where to jump at all. I will say these levels do have some funny names though. Full Frontal Fuji? Halloween Old Natural? New York? What's next? Undraped Nether Wallop? Every stage also ends with a boss fight against this blue guy called Rival. It gets harder and harder in each stage, adding a new move to its arsenal in every battle. These boss fights could be just as annoying in the stages though. I swear his attack patterns are completely random. Sometimes he might do the dash attack often, allowing you to score hits on him easily. Other times he spams his other moves, making it hard to predict his every attack and stalling out the fight. And you only have so many lives to endure his actions. I definitely would have preferred a unique boss in each stage as opposed to this. There's only one other boss, and that's the final boss. This water monster thingy. But this guy could also be aggravating for similar reasons. I do like that bubble effect on his body though. It looks really cool. Overall, Pro Jumer Guilty Gear Tangent is an interesting platformer, but also an exercise in frustration, with slippery controls, aggravating level design, and bosses that'll make you want to fish strike your DS. But I just want to put it out there that I don't hate this game. I never go into something wanting to hate it, in fact it's usually the opposite. I wanted to like it, however the annoying parts all added up and left me feeling frustrated by the end of the whole thing. If you're a fan of the series, or you still think the game looks fun to you, even with all the problems I mentioned, then I guess it might be worth checking out, if you can find a way to play it at all. This title is pretty obscure, otherwise I don't think it's worth your time. Maybe it's best the Guilty Gear series stuck with fighting games, because this platform will leave you with pain no pot spring will ever fix.